A Bossk video. Okay.
Sir, we have a priority signal from the Star Destroyer engine.
Right.
Welcome back to the channel, Star Wars Eddie, with another video for you. I am, I'm probably still here. About to leave on vacation. I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. So I'm pumping out a ton of videos right now and trying to get them all uploaded so that they release while I'm gone. And as you already know, because my last video that came out on Wednesday for the eBay Star Wars listings video, episode 19 or 20, I can't even remember. It could be 20. 20 videos have now come out for that every single week. And on that video, I announced I'm going to Jakarta, Indonesia, Bali, Indonesia, and a couple days in Tokyo. And I'm going to be doing some Star Wars hunts while I'm there. Who knows if I can find anything? Who knows if I'm even coming back? We've seen all the documentaries on planes going down, coming from there. So who knows if I'm even going to make it back? I hope so. If not, my son is getting my entire collection and he doesn't even want it. So who knows what he'll do? Hopefully he'll reach out to Chris over at 5 Idiots Talking Toys, sell him everything, and then everybody can buy them from Rogue 5 Toys. That's probably what's going to end up happening. But on today's video, we're doing a focus collection video on my Bosks. I've got 7 loose graded Bosks that are all different. And they're going to span all kinds of different factory releases, super rare items, and even some bootlegs. So we're going to check those out. I've got a whole bunch of loose ones that are sitting there that are actually ones that are going to be up for sale on eBay at some point in the future. And if you're wondering, eBay, wait, what? Well, I sell on eBay. I have for 15 years. I've sold 22,000 items on eBay over those 15 years. 99% of them have all been vintage Kenner Star Wars items. So I know what I'm doing. Check it out. If you're wondering how to get there, just go right down to the description below, and you're going to see links to get to my eBay site, to my Instagram, to my TikTok. You'll find in the description below. You'll also now, since I've said something about 5 Idiots Talking Toys and Rogue 5 Toys, you're going to find their description down below as well. So make sure to check them out. Get linked up with them. You're going to find the most amazing Star Wars items you've ever seen on their site. I'm not even going to put the number of subscribers up here anymore because I'm gone. So hopefully those numbers are going up. And when I get back from my vacation, there'll be a released video of a Star Wars eBay listing video that'll come out. And we will update everybody on where we've been over the last 2 weeks. And hopefully we're getting closer to our goal of 500. And once we hit that tier, then we can start working on the next tier. And then once we hit that one, we'll work on the next one. And we're just going to keep working our way up on YouTube. And before we get into the video, I need you to do a couple things. And these are free for you to show me support. It helps bring people that haven't found me to my YouTube. If you just hit that like, subscribe, and that bell notification, and leave some comments down below. If you like Bossk, or if you think that I'm missing something in my collection, put it down below in the comments, and that'll be the next thing I'll go hunting for. Just because I have these in my collection doesn't mean I've stopped. This is just a timestamp of what I have in my collection when it comes to Bossk. And doesn't mean that I'm still not looking for a good deal or looking for something I don't have. So if you think there's something I should have, put in the comments down below. And enough of all of this, let's get into those Bosks.
Bossk, take care of our guests while we're gone.
Okay, here we are. We're going to go over some of these Bosks. And right here in front of you, you'll see a bunch of these loose Bossk that I have in my collection as far as ones I'm going to be selling. And actually, one of them, when I was putting them all up, this guy here, I believe it's this one. If we take a good look at him, we'll see that he is in pretty mint condition. No, it's not this one. Forget that. Which one is it? This one? Oh, yeah, it's this one. So we look at this guy. Look at the paint. I mean, There is not much of any paint rubs. All of his toes are still solid green. Usually you get some paint rubs right in here on the tips of the toes. Look at the back. There's this one mark there that I'm going to try to get out. That's right there on his bottom of his butt. It's probably something that'll just scratch right off. So I'm gonna try to do that. But look at that back paint too. I mean, look at this guy. This is a perfect example of an item that you send off for grading. And Bossk's actually, when you get a high grade, if you can get an 80 plus or above, you're going to make some money off that grade. If you get anything below, like an 80 or below, you're going to lose money on the grading. So this one, I just don't know how you wouldn't get an 85. So I'll look him over. I'll make sure he's clean. And I'm going to be sending this one off for grading. So I'm just going to put him back. And then I will put him to the side. The rest of them are in all different conditions. I don't think I would list any of them as near mint on my eBay site. They're probably just going to be, some of these are in great condition, but not near mint condition. And then the one on the far left is just, I don't even know why. I'm not going to sell him. I mean, I'll put him in a junk pile and sell a big junk pile. But now that I looked at him, let's take a look. I mean, the paint is completely faded on his legs. Look at the paint wear on the back. I mean, this guy is in played with condition for sure. And just all the fading to the limbs. I mean, it's almost like a white yellow is what these limbs are now. But this guy is not worth selling at all. So I'm going to put him in a junk pile, which I have one going. And then he'll be sold with some junkers. Okay, let's start with the very first graded item. It's an old case. It's a UKG case, so none of those are real good for resale. But this figure here, if we take a look at it, is just going to be your standard Hong Kong with, I think it's the green colored head, like the olive colored head. 85% though, so pretty nice overall figure. And so let's look. You look at the back paint. It's kind of similar to the one that I showed you that was loose. You don't see much paint rubs in here on the butt with the white paint. It's in pretty nice condition. So this is just your standard regular release that we saw a ton of here in the United States, and which this would resemble every single one here almost, except for these two, which have, I'll show you, it's just a different colored head. This is like the orange head version compared to the olive on this guy. So otherwise, they're all pretty much the same COOs that are sitting over there. Okay, next up is another UKG. It's only an 80%, but a little bit different because this is the no COO, and the paint got an 80%. So let's take a look. What brought it down? So there's a little bit of paint rubs just in this area here, I can see. And then if we go to the back, I mean, the back paint looks super nice. And even the paint on the butt here looks pretty nice. So who knows? But there's a little bit of a different color to the limbs. You see the difference in the colors of their limbs. And we can see that they're a little bit different. This is more of like a, I don't know, I would say like a darker yellow. And this is a lighter yellow. And the little bit different color in the head. This is like a real green. And then this is more of like a brown green, I would say, is this guy. But got the no COO. This would probably come on a Palatoy or Tri-Logo card. Okay, the one we just saw in my video of a CAS unboxing was that Mexican bootleg that I had sent in. And this is bright yellow, obviously. But we got a 60 on this one. And this is from the 1980s Mexican Star Wars Bossk. It's a semi-articulated bootleg, meaning that only part of the limbs move, and it's the arms. I can see their joint there. So the arms would have been something you could move. Legs and head look to be static. And it's a yellow, brown painted limbs. And these bootlegs came with all different color schemes. And this one I sent in because I thought it resembled Bossk the most. And just the colors pop so awesome on this one. We'll stay with bootlegs. And here we've got a Russian Oritet bootleg. This is from the Power of the Force 2 bootleg made in Russia. Let's take a look at this one. This grade is amazing. 95 plus. It got an overall 98.5. It was almost 100%, which would have been amazing. but it's a 2000s or it's limited Star Wars Bossk articulated bootleg pink flight suit. I mean, look at that pink. How cool is that pink color? I picked this up from an international seller on eBay that was recommended by John, the action figure grader. And I think this was only like 20 bucks or something like that. It was pretty inexpensive, but 90, I mean, it's almost 100% grade. It's awesome. Love having this in my collection, and it's going to pop. Look at how it pops with this yellow here. I mean, we got this bright yellow, bright pink, and it just adds a lot of color to my collection. Next up is an item I got from 5 Idiots Talking Toys, and it is the Mail Away Bossk baggie. I had purchased this, and it came with all the paperwork for the Mail Away Bossk. It just didn't have the box. And I hunted for about 3 months trying to find just the box for sale, and I could not find it. So I gave up. I sold the paperwork. I think I sold it for like $120. It's on one of my eBay listing videos that I posted, that I sold off that paperwork, and I sent this guy off for grading, and it ended up getting an 80. And let's see what it says. It's the 1980 Kenner Star Wars baggy style SW-A Bossk with the orange head COO2 line LFL Hong Kong. But yeah, awesome item. And I love the display too, how they just box it in there. And we can see the reason why I got the 80 is we've got a couple little rubs here on that upper back, and there's, I think, one right here. But beyond that, this figure is in awesome condition, and it's a baggie. And if you've been following my videos, you know that I have been on a baggie binge. I've pretty much collected almost every figure and multiples of every single figure. And so the baggies is kind of like where to go to add some sort of a flair to the grading and the options for grading. So definitely happy to get this baggie in my collection. And now we're going to get into some Spanish figures, and these are bangers. This is a PBP Thick Lips Bossk, graded an 80 by CAS, and they've labeled it. They've always put PBP POC because they're lazy at CAS. It's just the PBP. It's a Bossk olive head, thick lips, no COO. And if we go to the back here, let's see. Yep, we can see it only has the date here, nothing on this leg, nothing below here. And actually, I think probably the Hong Kong would have been on this, underneath this part here. It looks like there's a little bit of a scar there. But this guy's awesome. If we look at his lips, let's see if we can get zoomed in here. Well, he's got thick lips, okay? Those lips are super thick. And this is a highly sought after item that collectors are looking for. And when I was early on in collecting, I knew that this was some sort of a variant that was out there. So every Bossk I got in from the collections I purchased, I looked at their lips on everyone thinking that I might find a thick lips Bossk. But no, these ones you're probably only going to find overseas or ones that have been graded and got here to the States. These aren't sitting in just people's random collections. These are Spanish released figures, and so you're going to probably only find them from a international seller. And the last, definitely not the least, this is one of the more scarce items you'll ever see, and it is a Toxic Limbs Bossk. And you can see right there, look at the color of his arm right here. It's a toxic green paint. There's only so many known graded items for this figure that are out there, and it is, I think it was 20 or less, I think, have been graded, is what the census said, from at least some YouTube videos that I've seen where people have done research, and this one came back at a 75. It is a 1980 POC, so this is the Spanish factory that was initially there in Spain producing all these figures. They would receive Hong Kong parts from the Hong Kong factories, and they would do all the paint and assembly in the POC factory, and they did something with the paint of why they did this real bright green. Obviously, it must have been a mistake, and so if there was only so many produced like this and released, and then they fixed it, and then the PBP factory bought out the POC factory, and that's where that Thick Lips one came in. But they label it light green limbs. They refused to call it a toxic limbs because that's kind of just what us as collectors have referred to this. But they call it the light green limbs, but it is the toxic limbs Bossk. That's just what they label it. And I'm sure at some point, if they get enough of these in, they might start changing the name of it to the toxic limbs. But absolutely it is. This item goes for thousands of dollars, especially at a grade 75. So super thrilled to have this in my collection. At one point, I think this Bossk collection was probably the most expensive figure that I had in my collection. And but I'm thinking that now it is my Jawa figures because I've got the Toll Toys vinyl cape Jawa, I've got the regular Kenner vinyl cape Jawa, and a little Letty with a removable hood, all graded, and they're high graded. And so I think that surpasses the value here for sure. But I think Bossk is my second highest net worth type of figure in my collection. And that's why we're doing this. We've got, look how many Bosks there are. And I've got the full gamut. I've got a Mexican bootleg, a Russian bootleg. I've got the mail-away baggie. I've got a PBP. I've got a POC. I've got the Hong Kong. I've got the no COO. I've pretty much, got one of everything, even though there's even way more variants for this figure.
We're going to blast what's left of this ship to pieces.
I'll be ready when you arrive.
Okay, that's it. That is the Focus collection of my Bossk figures. You can see I've got a little bit of everything when it comes to those loose graded Bosks. And please, again, leave some comments down below. If you think there's something I'm missing in my Bossk collection I need to get in my collection, please put comments down below and let me know what that is. And because, listen, I love adding stuff to my collection. If there's something I'm missing that you think I need to have, I'm going to get it. And I will find it and we'll get it in there. And then we'll just do updates, usually with like mail haul type videos that will show the different items I get in after I do these types of videos. Videos coming up. We've got a mail haul video. I've got so many amazing items that just I don't know how it happens. They just start piling up, and I'm gonna blow you away with this video. There's an item that's so big, and it's graded, and it cost a fortune. The shipping to get back from AFA was over $400 they charged me. Insanity, but that video is coming up. It'll actually be out next Sunday. I'll also have a Focus collection on my Chewbacca's. That's going to be coming up in 2 Sundays. I've also got every Wednesday, you're going to get those eBay listing videos to see all the stuff that sold in my eBay listings and all the shout outs I give for everybody during the week. Those come out every Wednesday. There'll be a skipped one only because I'm gone on vacation and I can't sell the items and make a video. So there'll be a little skip, but I'll throw in some shorts and stuff while I'm gone on vacation. Down in the comments, let me know what figure you'd like me to take with me on my journey. And I'm going to use that figure to do vlogs and shorts of Jakarta, of Bali, and of Tokyo. Please do not choose a super expensive figure. I do not want to lose it or have its accessories lost. So let's talk about just some normal stuff. I mean, I could take a Bossk with me. I could take an R2-D2. I could take a Luke Skywalker. I've got all kinds of loose figures. I could take a Dengar or even a Lobot. If you want me to take a Lobot, I will take one, and I will not care if I lose that Lobot. So that's probably a good option. Let's see the Journeys of Lobot in Asia. And always stick around just to see if there's any bloopers. It always comes in after my little ending video that shows all of my socials with all that Star Wars music. I usually try to throw in all the screw-ups that I do because I do a lot of screw-ups. And those will be at the very end. Something to chuckle about to end with a bang. And please, before we go, if you didn't already do it in the beginning when I asked you, or you didn't do it in the middle when the little pop-up came up, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. Send this video in a link to somebody else that you think might enjoy these videos. And until the next time, if I'm still alive and I come back from Asia, who's your daddy?
Aura. Bad news, boys. If I don't hear from her soon, I'm gone. And you're both fried. Time's up.
Everything that I have as far as the social daddy, you know, I've got a pretty good, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I've got a pretty good what?